Welcome, people. Welcome to 2026. Officially. How y'all doing? Greetings, fellow flyers. How y'all doing? Y'all doing good? What's going on out there? We're back. We're live. It is Paper Aircraft Weekly for the first full week of this new year. I know we did the New Year show, but had to get this show out there because I had to get this show out here. And so we shall. Trying some new things. Gonna be a new look. Gonna be some new looks for the new year because I think what we're gonna do is kind of like try to do that. Like the next season, we're gonna have the next season that's gonna come out, and things are gonna change, even though the stuff is gonna stay the same, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Abby, New Year to you too, my friend. Good friend of the show, Abby stops in most of the time. See how we're doing. Did you have a good any celebration going on or whatever, man? Ah, we didn't do too much here because it was just too damn cold. And now, as is usual, nothing stays anyway, kind of the way it would be. Like now it's there's no fluctuation, right? I'm trying to see something here. I'm scared because I got my overhead on. My overhead has a tendency to mess this thing up, so if you see any fluctuation, you let me know. It would be kind of like the yeah the reverb, the refresh rate, because like whatever light is in the overhead light, the LED is like really good, and like if I use just that, you get plenty of light, but you get the reverb a lot. I've noticed in previous shows, so I've taken to eliminating it, but right now I left it on like a dumbass, and so far I think the lamp lights, the studio lights, are overriding it, so we'll stick with that for now. So anyway, so yeah, new look. We're changing things around. Starting with this, like actually, you see the examples of hijack haze contour and javelin that we built over the past week. Hope you guys got some out there. Hope you guys see what kind of plane we have. But instead of having this limited area, because it used to be camera was like right here and only had this much distance. Now the camera's way up here, so now we got some play. I mean, I can hold it comfortably. I'm just changing it. I can see you still getting that glitchy stuff though. My camera must be messed up, which is weird because I bought the damn thing brand new. Unfortunately, that was like 3 years ago, so I don't know if I can do anything about it now, but I might tell somebody about it and see what happens. Anywho, waiting for a possible delivery from a new cam from somebody. Maybe, just maybe. Don't know yet. Possibly. We'll see. Yeah, but again, there'll be some new looks. Just not just this. This is one of the things I'm going to work with, so I have more space to play. Um, Might have to kind of develop a little bit more shading and stuff or something, just because of how this is looking. Uh, like I'm all the way over here and everything like that, and I could probably make this a little bit different. I'm gonna probably play with it on the fly. I'll let you see how some of these shows turn out, and you'll see exactly what is like happening and everything. Um, but in the meantime, we're probably just gonna like let you ride it out with us. You. That's a good zoom, but it's a little bit much. How do you like that? That's still not gonna be right. Let's try some stuff here. We're working the fly here. Hello, McFly. Okay, we're working it. We're working it. We're trying to crop some stuff. Oh man, that gives you a really. You don't see that. Probably best that you don't. Okay, there. Bottom's gonna be a little bit. We're trying to, like I said, we're trying to make it so that it's not gonna be so bad for you guys to see most of the screen, the pattern, and everything like that. And I'm also trying to make it fill said screen, so it's a little bit more important stuff, even though it's also going to be, well, non-important stuff. But anyway, those are the javelins. Bear with me. Like I said, we're transitioning. Um, we're making it right. We're making it hot. That's not going to work. I'm working it here. I'm working it. Let's see here. Let's go with 675. That's probably a little bit better there. Oh, again? Oh my God! What one now? You dealt with how many? We have built so many 2s and 3s on this show. You should have it down pat by now. And I might add, now that I've changed things around, 2s, 3s, and 5s. Because the one that we're talking about now, the way we set it up, it's a 5. So, let's do this. I could just make it 225 all the way around. That actually looks pretty good. That actually looks pretty good. Except the bottom and the top kind of suck. It's not so bad. Oh my God, 218. I love the way you say, I'll be your great man. And I mean that literally. I'm not harping on you in any way, shape, or form. I love the way you just like, you've created paper planes before. You know how hard it is to recreate. I mean, man is man, he's fallible. So it's like, I can't really put to any one given, damn, I can't put to any one given thing to make it actually the way it once was. I couldn't build 218 again. I love the way you say that though. It's pretty cool. Like, I mean, dude, like, I told y'all before, like, I can't build planes the way I used to because I just don't build planes the way I used to. I try to get there, and I mean, I suppose if anything, 218 should be more like it was. Um, but that's not the way it works because, well, mostly because, good God Almighty, like I don't make the fuselages as small as I used to with that, and I don't make them. Let me see if I can reduce that just a hair. Let's do 260. No, do 265. Oh, what the hell? Do 625, and let's do 205. Makes it a little bit more pliable. It's not great. There it is. That's pretty good. Sorry about that. There you go. Better transition. Now you got, I mean, you got the tape, which might have to become a permanent fixture because of my other studio lights. Yeah, again, that's true. And like we said, like I don't make fuselages as high as, you know what's funny? A little segue. If you asked OAE to do something like that, like he would give a phase and like it'd be kind of funny because I'm sure he's probably got a different way of building them in like having his 1 inch, you know, the fuselage width is like 1 inch here and here, like that tall. Um, my God, is there another filter I got for that? Did I tone it down some? Ooh, that's not bad. But y'all get crazy on me. Yeah. What if I gamma the hell out of that? You like that? No, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna play with it a little bit so I can streamline this video for you. Bear with me. Um, no, because like OAE would probably build it and give you like the really tall fuselage, and that's something like I never really experimented with. Well, okay, I did, but not like the way he does, and his is a standard build. So I find it I find it different that that something that you build that way versus like I build, or that, well, he builds that you build that I built. There he is. What's up, Matt? Yeah. It's not really. He's just saying like if I were to rebuild 218, and I noticed, hey, how you doing, man? Doing okay? Happy New Year, bro. Um, it's so good to see you on a regular basis. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's, well, he's questioning, but he's not questioning it. He's asking about the 218 rebuild, and I'm like, how I've changed in my styles over the years, and while I've not built something on a regular basis like you build yours, where the fuselage is so deep, so tall, um, I wouldn't build anything like I built. I don't really build like I built 218 anymore, where the fuselage is only like a half inch. You can barely get your finger pad in there, and I'm trying to get a balance of the two. It's like 3/4 of an inch, so you get the finger in there. But like he said, it's got wide wings. Well, because it's got the smaller winglets, it's got the smaller fuselage. It's not as tall. Um, and really, you could just do that with any of them. You could do that with yours. You could do it with mine. I mean, seriously. But as you well know, if you built any of yours and they didn't have that much of it, if it didn't have that tall of it, it'd be a completely different aircraft because there'd be so much more wing. Was it? Yeah. Which Numa variant are you talking about, Abby? Yeah, I noticed. I saw the pic. That was really cool. And like I got what you were saying, because like as soon as you did it, I mean, like, yeah, reinforcing and dropping it down. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be really cool. Is there a way to, that wouldn't do much? Yeah. No, we're not doing that. I hate that damn thing. I'll play with it, but I'm not gonna play with it here on the show. What about if I did this? What would this do? No, that's no, no. We're not doing that. No, delete that. I hate that one because I build different planes. But anyway, yeah, just because of that, like I was thinking. You see how that looks? Okay, but we're gonna leave that alone for now. Anyway, so, it's like my fingers fit comfortably. I do it in such a way so that my fingers fit comfortably. That's basically it. Um, and like it does, it does kind of hinder me, like in a bad way, because that's really all I base it on. I don't, very rarely do I go to the aspect of like building it taller, seeing how much more different the flight would be, how much more play I would get if I did a 1 inch tall fuselage or a half inch tall like G218. Um, yeah, I don't do that anymore. It's so hard. I mean, especially because a lot of times like at the axe here. I mean, the axe has got it. My God, that really is bright though. You'd have to see it, but like it's so slanted. You know what I mean? Like that you got now. So you've got your choice of up near the nose, but you'd grab it here, so you've got enough for the thumb to fit in, my thumb to fit in. So, but like Nova, same kind of way. Now Nova a little bit different because Nova would definitely have, typically would have the smaller fuselage. Okay, yeah, I can see that, but it's not. It's still pretty small. Nova's always been kind of small. Actually, Nova started out big and got smaller. And now most of the time, I find it works best with a slightly slanted fuselage. So it is taller back here, but not much. And the height back here, which is at its maximum, um, it's still barely about what Nova originally was. This is about the height it was. So, and like stuff like, yeah, that's a great point. Stuff like that is why you would consider adding that height too. Is if like you're thinking about carriage or something like that, or you're thinking about landing gear, or how you want it to set. Like, oh, obviously, because like Nova will set, Javelin will set if the wings don't be too much. So you have that, and the winglets act like landing gear, which is well and good, but you're gonna need Robert for that one. That's not. Some planes have an inherent, some planes don't. And like I said, I don't know if that, I don't consider that hindering myself. It's just a design flaw, a design technique, a design stigma, if you will, that I always follow. I just like to have them a certain distance. And like, yes, I do play with them, but I don't play with them as much. Like, I have played with Javelins, with a 1 inch tall and some a little bit taller, a la OAE, having the taller ones just because I'm trying to add stability. We've tried to add so many different ways of adding stability to that aircraft. Um, when I realized, of course, that this is as much as you're going to get out of it because it's at the whims of your throw. So, like whatever you do, X-wing it, fluff it, put like some winglet strakes. Um, that's not actually. It's a tech I developed, and I've not actually named it, and not actually put it on there. So you guys will probably have to come along with it. But anyway, like yeah. There's so many different ways, and it still flies the same way because it's at the mercy of your throw if you throw it hard enough. So what can you do? Nova has changed so much, and Nova might be one of the reasons why it has changed, and I kind of got ugly with it because again, like the initial batch of 12, or I don't think it was 12, I think it was like 8 or 9. It got interfered with by Hurricane Hugo, but I didn't don't go back to that ever because I tried to stray away from aircraft using notebook paper, and you really shouldn't do that. Don't ever try to do that. Don't do what I did. Um, don't ever limit yourself because you think you're advancing your technology by using some kind of paper. It took me a while to go back to it, and after a while, I started realizing that some planes, like phase 1s and 2s, work really good with notebook paper. 3s and 4s work better with actually harder bond paper than even Xerox paper, like almost cardstock file folder style would work really good. But then you only single paper them. Um, uh, Phase 6s, yeah, you can go back to notebook paper, but they also work with you got to learn it. You got to learn your balance of your aircraft. Just don't limit yourself just because you built one and it works with like one sheet. Like experiment with the sheets that you have. Go to what we call Dodge paper, which is like super heavy cardstock, which I couldn't even build a Javelin with because the folds, if you sat along with this and ride this and you built this, you know that the folds up here get stupid thick. You couldn't do that with cardstock. You couldn't do that with the Dodge paper me and NASA's always talk about. Probably at work, although I did deliver him the new KIA, or the new KIA, you got me saying it, the new IVPAC calendar just yesterday, as a matter of fact. So the new IVPAC calendars are in. Yeah, look pretty hot. The official IVPAC calendars are in. Yeah, but um, Nova suffering because it's not a notebook paper plane anymore. I don't know. Maybe it may be. Um, Maybe I should send them back to the drawing board and get them back on notebook paper. Maybe I'd like them more. I like the design, but it's hard to. I want more out of it, and I don't get what I get out of it. So, but anyway, that has to do with again like experimenting with the basics. I consider that the basics. The sheet that you're using, the height that you make a fuselage, that's like the basics. It really is because it's like it doesn't. That's not tech. That's just deciding. You know what? One time, I want to make the wings a little bit bigger. One time, I want to make the wings a little bit smaller. And Nova already suffers from that because you see what it ends up with. Like you end up with almost no wing the more fuselage you get. So on a plane that has a lot of weight that kind of shifts more towards the center of gravity or where the center of gravity should be, you can't take away wing. You need to add wing. The Mark 29, which one? Is that like the newest one? Is that your current model or is that like the latest? That's not an export only, is it? You Vulcan yourself, you've only exported a couple or a few, right? Oh, but like vampires, that does have like it's the style of aircraft. Banshee also, same kind of way. They have a lot of fuselage. And always will, because they got so much wing anyway, it really doesn't matter. And if any of y'all have built aircraft like that, you realize if you take this, you give this kind of a fuselage like this with so much wing, these planes almost don't fly. So you have to learn your balance. You have to learn. You tweak it and you figure it out. And the funny thing is some of it is just knowledge. Like I know that if I gave this thing a fuselage that was half of what it is right now, it wouldn't fly right. It'd be at the mercy of the wings. I'd probably get a little bit of a butterfly flight, flapping wings or something like that. Oh, Neo Vulcan. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Kay's probably. I'm gonna send him a text real quick and see if he's like. He said he'd be up there, but I don't know if he'd be like on tonight or not. So that boy just lives to work sometimes, or works to live. I don't know which one it is. He really should stop so we can get him on the show. He tells us he's going to be on the show some more, so I'm going to bring that up in the sheets real quick because I want to see that. I hate the fact that the damn thing, boy, that thing is really glitching. Mark, where you at, brother? I need that damn thing, bro. I have to find that out. Um, what would we do with the? What do you propose? Well, actually, I'm sorry, you're not really expecting anything out of Neo Vulcan. You're just trying to see exactly what we'd come up with, right? Okay. Yeah, you do that. Um. Oh yeah, current. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's an old one for you, being like 5 years old, huh? Not like the eldest. I see that. I mean, Turbo Starhawk you still using from 2016? That one's approaching 10 years. Way to go, bro. That's pretty cool. Oh hell, you still got Zeta active, Omniwing Zeta. Okay. I'm just saying that because like some of these obviously you have rapid turnover, but like you said, you've been a little bit lax lately, or on hiatus lately, as it were. So yeah, now we could probably do something like this. Is that in Instructables? We could take a look at it. I think, to hold true, I think I did Sky Warrior. Um, it's in one of the boxes. Matter of fact, I'm almost sure of it. Um, damn. I I don't know. It's just of all the things that you picked. That's funny. You picked it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive. Uh, I know I built like 3 or 4 years based on your Instructables, and I really thought that was one of them. But I'm trying to see like how many different warrior options do you have? Is that not the only one? Because that might not have been the one that I did, but that seems familiar. I almost thought you'd asked about that before. In which case, that might have been the reason why. But I swear to you, I've actually built that one. I'd have to take a look. Oh. See that? Yeah. That's why I think. I think that's why. No, it wasn't Super Thunder Warrior. Didn't try that. It might. It really might have been that aircraft, just because, or Thunder Warrior. I mean, either one. Oh, heavy hell! You actually consider it still active too because it's your bomber and airlifter. Nice. Simple. Eh, that could have been why. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make that sound as ostentatious as it were, because again, you're using Turbo Omniwing and Sky Warrior, and Sky Warrior is 15 years old as of last month. So, way to go. Nice in your active duty still. Um, See, that's what makes me think that's the one I actually built too. I'm almost positive that was the one, and it might have been because of. Did you take a picture of it with the Mups before? Is that like on the e-zine, or is that like on? Is that somewhere in Instructables or whatever? Or did you send me that before? Just because I swear that's so bloody familiar. We can't have a fly off of the same plane. I mean, or you just mean because I built it versus KIA building it? Yeah, okay, I can see that. That I can see. I can understand that. But why you want us to go head to head? You want to start the war? You want us to do? Oh, wouldn't be a war. It'd be kind of like having an ORI, and we'd be facing off. We've done that before. That has happened. Oh my God, really? That's not what I did. How? I can see it. It's in here somewhere, but that's not the one that I was trying to see. This is the one I was trying to see. Nope, it's in industry news. Uh, YM25. Oh, there were okay, okay, okay. Strand of Vulcan. All right. It might not have been Sky Warrior, but again, like yeah, you're right. Then I would. It'd be interesting to see what exactly how. You're not thinking I'm gonna do. I would be true to. Thing about that is I would be true to your design. I would be true to how it comes out. I don't know if Instructables is that way, but chances are I would probably just build it the way you built it. I wouldn't probably do, something like this. Well, especially considering what it is. If it's an airlifter, I would try to probably give it more of a bigger fuselage, a bigger everything. But okay, so you took the Y out because they're out of development. Gotcha, gotcha. Abby, what you're saying is kind of interesting too, though, because like we haven't had any kind of off battle like that in a long time. It'd be kind of cool to do that again. Last time I did something like that, oh my god, I think the last time we actually did kind of like a fly off face off was, oh, ask Mark about that. We did one back at Raintree, um, and I brought all the javelins out, and we proceeded for the next 3 hours to throw javelins back and forth at each other outside and then inside. that that was kind of tragic. I lost a few of them that time just because some of them got thrown so many times. There were a few other planes in there, but mostly javelins. Would that be a larger version of the Sky Warrior? Hey man, your standard is pretty much. You look even at all your instructables. Your standard is a 1 inch. I mean that they just are. I don't know if you give the measurements or not, like doing a show or doing a video or whatever. Which, by the way, you ought to do. No, I'm not saying what I'm saying, even though I am saying what I'm saying. What I mean is, when I initially said what you ought to do is not make the video, what I meant to say is what you ought to do is put the dimensions of the finished product on there on the instructable. So you got like like a length, width, height kind of thing in metric and stupid. uh, uh, but you should make a video. That's not what I was saying, but it is what I'm saying. You get me? Follow me? That's why I was saying it that way, because initially, not where I was getting at, but it is now. um, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool to sit with you, like Ben was going through, like designing and then building and then doing all the intricate stuff for 3 hours. But I think it'd be interesting to sit with you for a sit down while you design a squadron patch. I'm assuming you've gotten better at squadron patches. Have you came up with squadron patches for us? I basically mean just you at your locations, the bases. I'm assuming that's actually also kind of why you wanted to check and see, or well, if you were looking into reopening older bases, so you can have more bases, so you can bring more squadron patches out, so you can have your wings back. You know, because I don't know if you do individual squadrons. I haven't bothered. I've got so many, and that could be why you're avoiding it. But you don't like. I think more bases, less squadrons is probably the better way to go, as opposed to more squadrons, less bases. For me, like I said, I love seeing fin codes. Like it's the whole reason I wanted it. Basically, one of the whole reasons I wanted to do it was like whenever you go to an air show for real, or at least used to. Now it's different because like there's like two planes in like 22 different locations. It used to be 22 different locations, probably had 18 different planes. Um, but no, where the hell are you? There it is. Just trying to track this down. I'm going to look at the Meta Vulcan here for a second. Like, you always have the pose picture, and then you have the pictures. Um, whoa. Do you have it in the 11 more? Hold on. I'm going to run this down here. Following along. What? Ooh, you need to. Do you know on the Meta Vulcan Instructable, something happened. The picture's messed up. There's one you have those boxes that show you where to tape individually areas, and picture 6 says tape here. There's 5 places where it says tape here, but the plane is rotated 90 degrees to the taping locations, or it's offset. So it looks like you're taping 3 places. You're taping just the mat, and then another location looks like you're taping the wing to the mat. And then the other tape location is directly on the wing. You probably ought to fix that if you can. I don't know. I've never dealt with Instructables, so I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, you should put like dimensions on there of like what it's like the final finished product, like how long, wide, height. Oh, well that sucks. Sorry, I didn't mean to not play catch up, but I was looking at your Meta Vulcan there and wanted to get that over, so I didn't see the text. You haven't done any work since you saw it? Well, why not, man? I mean, okay, again, like you don't have to do it for squadrons, but well, okay, you can do it for squadrons because you only have the ones at Stearns, unless you are planning on opening up a couple others. Or, well, you only have the ones at Stearns. Even if you open up another base or two, you can split them so that obviously all the ones at Stearns can go someplace else and someplace else. That way, like bombers here, fighters here, airlifters there, I was kind of hoping you guys would do that. Uh, so, like basing and stuff like that. Did you build the Javelin, Abby? The Javelin is long range. The Javelin will see like how good of a thrower you are. Again, because the Javelin's as long a range as you can throw it. So if you can throw it far, I know you probably talking a glider. But if you can throw it far, this thing will fly far. I think, well, I like the idea of the squadron patches is something cool. I thought I kind of enjoy it. I mean, I haven't enjoyed it to the fact that I've made the individual squadrons for me because again, like seen how many I've got. I've got so many. Oh, really? Well, that sucks. Maybe it's something only temporary and you come back to it, I suppose. I hope. Yeah, like I said, I just noticed it. And there could be others, of course, but kind of sucks. No, I mean, if all you had to do in that particular case was just rotate the plane, but if you had to rotate and shift, because your boxes are very particular, and they're also particular in size, so I'm not saying anything, but some people might not be able to figure that out. You know it, and I know it, bro. So I'm saying videos, bro. How about we all hop over onto Daily Motion? Believe me, I thought like, I haven't mentioned this. Well, I might have mentioned this, and y'all might have missed it in passing. But like a couple of years back, I mentioned. Well, now 4 years back, IVPAC has another channel, not just us, and then also our contractors. IVPAC actually has another channel. It's not live. It's not official yet because we really don't want to. I kind of want to launch it, but I really don't want people going, are we going to have a brand? If that's the brand, is that going to be the brand or is this going to be the brand? I hate the fact that some of the like identifiers for this still have IVPAC. And I mean, that's all well and good, but I don't want people like crossing it or everything. I want to make sure it's only one thing and one thing only. And that's why I kind of made that. So, some main glider tutorial. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, not saving. What kind of glider? Who can tell you how to build a flying bus? I would never. I wouldn't say that. I mean, like every time I try to talk Mark and NASA to do like, hey, show him how to build Draco. He doesn't build the Draco. He should build Draco. Like I said, I think he took Draco a pretty good ways considering what it was. It's how he started. You should never forget how you started. And I mean, like, even if it is basic, you should run down and like let everybody see and know where you came from, how you got there. Especially because if you see the technology you put on, the taping you do, the folds you do, and so on and so forth, it's always fun to look back and see where you came from. I mean, it's not, in a lot of cases with something like this, it's kind of silly because in paper airplanes, I mean, seriously, we only started, let's face it, there's probably only 3 or 4 starting points for us. Literally. The world over. No kidding. No kidding. I mean, even if, because when you were young and you built your first one, it was like 5 folds or 7 folds, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 or 7, depending on what you did to it. Um, and I'm thinking back through my mind some of all the old ones, and like one of these books that I have on paper aircraft construction and design. Um, the author illustrated one of those and said his words were, "This is the plane I thought everybody built. Like this is the common one all around there. I'd never seen that plane before in my life. Never seen it. Didn't know how anybody built it. Didn't know where he came up with the idea. Didn't know. It had like a well, no, looked kind of like this, only with a tail kind of out, a little bit of boom, and then he folded the boom areas out to actually have like a little bitty tiny tailplane. They were like smaller than this, smaller than these little winglets. And I'm like, that's common. Where the hell did you grow up? This is the plane me and all my friends were building back in the day. Everybody had one of these. Where the hell were you at? I never saw them. I I need to actually what I need to do with you also is I got to run down and steal all your pictures and name them so you got a wide variety of these aircraft. So no, that it goes beyond that. Like I said, it was in literature, and I mean actually, okay, Zircoi was probably in literature, but I mean I have the book. I don't have every single paper airplane book made, but I have a lot of paper airplane books. Um, because back in the day, that was the only way I was learning some stuff. And there's a couple I lost to time. What do you mean Abby is no more? What did you do? You changed your name again? Matter of fact, I could probably show you. Um, I don't. Well, I don't know. I don't know what it would take to find it. See if I even have it. Um, well, I mean, I know I've got it. The problem is trying to figure out which book it's in. Um, bloody hell. Because I am not kidding when I say that I have a lot of paper airplane books. I don't have them all, but I have them most. Jesus. This is the plane. Uh, don't buy me. Just keep watching. Things are about to happen. Good Lord God. Some of these guys, like I got John M. Collins' book. I've got Richard Klein's book. I got Jack Boterman's book. I've got or Boterman's, depends on how you say that. Peter Volheim's book. I got Norman Schmidt's books. And if you know, you know, because those are like everybody who's anybody's books. Um, Come on. It might be him. I don't know. Let me see if I can. If I don't find it, I'll. God, it might not be the first book plane in the book either. Basic model. Like everybody's basic model is a little different. Seriously, but I hell, it might not even be in a book I have anymore. Actually, it might be in a book that I've read and then I didn't forget about, but I haven't reacquired yet. Campbell Morris. I mean, like I got books, including the ones they keep coming out with all the damn time. Yeah, I need to build some of those. Is it Volheim? One of my favorites was Volheim's books, 30 Planes to the Paper Pilot. When I saw him design his aircraft, I was like, whoa, that's just hot. He did some really cool stuff. It's not his because he's talking about his basic plane, and I've seen his basic plane, and his basic plane does look like the basic plane with mods. So I'd have to find it. But in any case, it was complex. It wasn't Zircon though. Oh yeah, and I had speaking of Nakamura-san, I also had a lot of white wings. So I had a lot of Ninomiya stuff. Um, I had like 5 or 6 white wings kits, which I have to admit I wasn't as fond of. I mean, I hold the deepest regard and pretty good respect for what most of the Japanese flyers, the videos that they have, their aircraft, those are amazing. But they all have that traditional boom and wing look with a balsa frame and cardstock wings and or something like that. And I like this. I like sheet of paper fold. I love watching them things fly. They could probably outdistance us any damn time of the week. So if we can compete, we're great. Robin's in the house. What's up, man? Yeah, of course you're at work. If I could get you, if I could do the show when you and I are not at work, I would do it, brother. So is that listed, or is that something you might have talked about that before? The destroyer dart. I think I remember seeing that, and then like you said, like yeah, it was because you mentioned Nakamura lock before, or the Nakamura lock on your aircraft before. So I doubt he's going to be able to give you the tutorial on it while he's at work. And besides that, Rob, didn't you have the RR7 tutorial up? Oh no, it was the 8. We were sitting along while you built the 8. Never mind, my bad. I knew that. I knew that. But you didn't. Oh, Matt, you didn't call it that. Oh my God, the F105 version is that the designator, or is that your design number? Well, that was Omni Delta, not the Strato Dart, right? Just the 8. Okay. Avi's going straight for the jugular. Wants to get like something. Well, again, you have an RR8. Does that mean RR7's retired, or are you using RR7 in the reserves? Oh, okay, okay. Well, see, Robbie, it's coming, man. It's coming. He's working on it. And when I say he's working, he's really working. Matt, where is It's not on the aircraft list, is it? Here I go again. Oh, well, no, I filtered it. You got your OAs. No, wait, no, it's not filtered. Never mind. I'm trying to filter all your contractor stuff. I mean, you got. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. And yeah, you do have it as experimental. Okay. From back in 2010. Yeah. I get a kick out. Like I get almost as much a kick out of it as either the research dart. Kinky. I like it. All right. Oh, that's right. That's right. 7M. Okay, so are you active with? Are you active with uh the 7M and the 8, or is the 8 still kind of under T&E? Like, well, actually I should put you a different question. Um, how many RR series are active, or are you flying in IVPAC? That is, like, you got the 5, 6, 7, and 8, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7. What are we with 8 incoming? I'm just curious. I got them all listed. So remember we were talking about that. You got to give me that list. Oh, I got to send you another message too. Uh, but I'll reconfirm this with you when I send you the message. I might have to shoot you an email about that. I said I got a big list here. Just need some help with it, brother. It's all changed up because I got RRs 1 through 8 with RR7 ominously missing, but ZRR7 in there. And same plane, different mod. I'm looking at it, but I'm seeing that what the hell just happened? What, Pop? Stop. That was just me. Actually, I don't know what happened. It kind of blurbed. Hopefully, I'm back. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Kind of like hiccuped. Commercial break. Um. Yeah, I see in the aircraft list that actually everything is the RRs 1 through 6 are retired, and 8 is there. Well, ZRR7 is there, but like I said, is that RR7 as a different setup because Z's in front of it, or again, we don't need to get into that because you're at work or something. But I'll shoot you something. Like I said, like we'll get some clarification on there. Oh, wait, Skylancer was the export version. You've been exporting a long time, haven't you? I thought kind of like an exporting thing was almost like new. But in your case, though, again, clarifying, export means like you're building it, but you're not using it. You're building it basically for everybody else. So you're just kind of keeping track of it. See, I've never like done that. So in other, it doesn't blow my mind. It just like it's kind of realistically speaking, I suppose like while we should keep track of it on the aircraft sheet, it's technically if you're building it for export, like especially only, which you do with a few of them, they probably shouldn't be allocated any of our. Like you get your design number and you can get a rollout date, but actually even that should probably be by choice. I mean, I guess for records and personal reference, you can have the rollout date because you want to keep track of when said plane was flying. But um, you never have any idea what other people are going to use it for. If it's export, you won't know its role. So a designator, the umbrella role, or anything like that is just going to be like that. So I see now. We almost ought to have a separate sheet for just exports for that very reason. I mean, I'm dealing with it now because I got the X. I mean, it might lead me to like build one or two others here that are coming up. But interesting. Everything that's got export, yeah, because that would explain also why you have them and they only have like a few weeks time in rollout first flight and then they're already retired because you like built them like okay go and export and then kill it. Oh my god, I was this minutes old and I realized that's how you were doing it. I'm sorry, I feel like a fool. Right, yeah, no, I got that, I understand that. If you accept them obviously they're in there, but like that's not the case with all of them, right? Like for example, I'm looking at I see rattlesnake, super strato jagger, and strato cobra and aurora. So I'm looking at the sheet in the background. So if any of those were, but see, they've also got each one of those has like a very small window of active duty, from rollout to first flight to your retirement date. There's usually 2 to 3 weeks, at the most. There's 3 weeks. So I'm assuming they are true like exports that you didn't use because they were only with you for like 3 weeks. Even though there's a few other planes on here also that suffered the same fate, but not many. Not many. Most of them served for longer than 3 months' time if you used them. Exports usually like a couple weeks. Okay. I said I might actually divvy that up a little bit, and if you don't mind, and like save that down as like an export sheet, just because I need I don't know I haven't known what to do that with the axe either for myself because I don't consider it my bird. I like okay we designed it and you're right like for that very reason I want to keep it on the record, but after that it's like I don't care. You guys like I'm not it's not going in my pool. It's not, as a matter of fact, it's not in here. I don't have it listed for me at all. Looking through this just to make sure I'm not saying something stupid, but it would have been before 2018. It's after Hagataka. Yeah, because y'all were here for the rollout of it, so okay. Yeah, that's fine. And we might, like I said, I think I might actually do that now because more of that might really start happening with us, where especially with more members. But if we start using each other's planes, or if we start using other people's planes, or if we just give planes out that are just not going to be in IVPAC at all, I might like literally make that as like a subsidiary of the IVPAC aircraft sheet. And I'm going to have to tell Mark about this too because this is something else that's going to have to be charted in the database. But he already talked about that. Um, Mostly because of you. He already talked about like if we're gonna track the exports and how, and they're like, well, we're only gonna track them by way of rollout dates for us because number built, what they're used for, how long they were used is totally up to whoever exported them to. Okay, so good to know. Okay, good to know. Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's so gonna happen. What you see me typing right now is that tab in that sheet that's gonna go right next to rundown. Um, you haven't been building much, so you haven't updated the sheet online in a while, right? So my sheet on my computer should be accurate, so I can play with this one and then upload it because it was downloaded from online before. So did you get these people telling you these? Like, did people tell you they've been using these aircraft? I'm gonna have to scroll back through my list to figure out what my fucking all of my exports were. When you did it, you parenthesized all of your exports, right? it strikes me that trying to find them will be outrageous. Oh my god, yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so they keep. What's with the Bigfoot, Abby? Did you? Oh, that's a mask. I was wondering. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, that makes sense. You got retirements and like we find retirements or whatever, but other people, like I said, what's old to you is new to somebody else, or vice versa. It's one of the reasons why I get the literature and stuff. Like, I find something new or whatever, or you guys put something on there, and I look at it and say intriguing, and then I end up building something with your tech on it, or a sub variation of your tech that I found, and like I'm gonna play with that and play with that. What do you consider our show as? This is like a audience engagement. This is like, well, almost a members only kind of thing, but this is like an audience. That is got to stop, dude. Oh my god, I gotta freaking get with Mark and get that freaking thing fixed. I can't believe it glitches that much. I am apologize for that, guys. It's like I don't even have to. It kind of gives it some character, but it's not the kind of character I want to give it. It's horrible. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna cross check this with the one that's online just to make sure because I'm pretty sure these are both accurate. And then I'm gonna run all the exports into the export sheet. And then I'm gonna try to figure out when the hell Axe was built. That's not true. I know when Axe was built, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, cool. So Raider was the last thing you got. Neo Vulcan Mark 29, the one you want us to build. Up to date. Omniwing Neo Zeta and Venom and Raider, two exports that are like your most current. Don't be so certain, man. Some people with their ideas, bro. I'm for real. It's amazing what some people can come up with. I would have thought that like some of the, like uh Pharaoh, for example, Frierson Arrow, he still has people talking about Air Raider for crying out loud. And Air Raider, boy, like both his Air Raider and Night Prowler. Like he'd like to set them down, but some people like he said like the same kind of situation where it hasn't been like recently, but like 6 or 7 years ago, some people were talking about how like, man, that plane you built, that thing was pretty cool. Plane flies pretty good. And he's like, man, I retired that in the '90s. Not literally, but you know what I mean? Like it was a long time ago. That's like crazy. No, if I type that, I'm gonna get some weird crap. Not that. Oh my god, people are talking about how to build a stealth bomber. You guys, I love your obsession with flying wings, but it's something I can never. I see. I already see something like this as a flying wing. I mean, of a fashion, and I just like too many. I like having the vertical surfaces just because it's what make the planes planes. You know what I'm saying? So I can't not do it. I'd love to try it, but I can't not do it. Let me see if I can go to Google here. Oh, I know. I'm gonna find all. I'm gonna find all kinds of crazy crap now. Oh Jesus, so stupid. Okay, I'm going to drive. Follow me along, people. I'm driving here. Ghost the band really exists. Yes. Uh, is the installation sheet up to date? I'm not joking, and I am because I remember. Okay, this is a while ago, but you did mention something about bringing something back out or like reopening a base or two. So I didn't know if you did that. I mean, it's uh, a simple thing really to do. You just proclaim that like you reopened a base or whatever. But like if Edward was to open back up, but I was just wondering like if you would have made alterations and then like I stationed something else over there, you know. So what in the God's name is going on there? Okay, it appears to be. Yeah, you're right. It's up to date. RD hyper attacker. What? Why is that gray? Shadow Raptor Cobra. Oh, Hagataka. Okay. Yeah, no, it is up to date. Okay. This, the one that I have and the one that we have, everybody that we have is all up to date. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. I figured it was. Well, see, there you go. Abby, you wanted a far gliding aircraft? Vigilante looks like it might be the way to go. Oh, hey, that's another. This is another topic. Actually, I meant to actually ask you guys about because I wanted some opinions. Um, Not that I'm going to change anything, but I was genuinely curious. How do you guys go about naming your aircraft? Yeah, I don't think we've ever really actually, or we touched on it. We never talked about it. And if we did, we talked about it 10 years ago. So most people forgot. Like me, for example. I forgot. But how do you go about naming your aircraft? Um, like I have variations on the same theme, obviously, but it's not. Oh, Jesus Christ! Let's go back and look at that one too. Not really the smartest person in the group here. But I was just curious. Like, I don't. If you knew anything about aviation history and then you followed my aircraft naming, you'd think like, dude loves British planes, and I don't. I really don't. I don't think America makes like the prettiest aircraft, but I do think like Russia and to a lesser extent China, some are cool, but and Britain make some really ugly looking freaking planes. I don't quite understand how. I mean, thinking on it. I mean, I'm like thinking. I'm not particularly fond of how the F-15 looks. Not particularly fond of how. I'm really not fond of the F-16. It's no secret. I think I'm well known for that. I don't like single engine planes either, but it, certain angles it does look nice and sleek, but from other angles it looks dopey as all hell. And when I really think about it, um, you are not. Abby, you're the youngest of the group. Um, when I think about it, like the F-16's fin sitting on that big ass box, no matter if it's like the A pre Block 10 versus any other one, when it's got the increased area big tail going to Block 25, it doesn't matter whether it's on a box with a drag chute or the original fin. That crank fin looks just stupid. And then it's big gaping, how you doing, there, mouth with the intake. Oh God, yeah, I've never liked the F-16's like stupid. But anyway, but I mean, like looking at like the F2, the Japanese F2, the Su-15, the flagon from Russia. It's like a plane this long, like but with wings this wide. It's like we took the NF-104 and we exaggerated the ever beloved piss out of it. Like, whew, no, no, not not attractive. I couldn't do that. So while I don't find our planes particularly like they're not all right, I think they're better than most. Even like the Seppicat Jaguar, um, the British Anglo-French Jaguar, it wasn't particularly attractive, but the Tornado was. Tornado was hot. The Eurofighter looks like crap. Rafale is awesome. I have a soft spot for Mirages, and a lot of people don't like Deltas at all, but I like Mirages. I thought about that. It's interesting you say that because you and NASA's were like that, and me and him talked about it too. Actually, thanks to yours. Um, we looked at what he was doing. We looked at what you were doing. And it was like, you know, if I could go back and think about it, I would kind of like to do like the Air Force way of the Warsaw Pact aircraft, where fighters start with F and attackers start with D and whatever. Just stick with the design name, and then also like Boeing the 7 kind of naming scheme. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we like own some kind of scheme, you know? And that's why like I didn't want to be, but I also didn't want like everybody picks like okay what sounds cool and put it out there and everything like that. And some are cool. Viper sounds cool, but in my mind it doesn't sit right because I just keep thinking Vipers can't fly. So as cool as the name is, they don't fly. Matter of fact, they never get off the ground. So really, how cool does that sound for a paper airplane name? You know? But that's just me. Teach their own. Sometimes it works out that way. Sometimes you just have planes like like, or you fall in love with the design even before you actually get, like get along with another design. I get that. I get that because like Nova's a prime example of that. But see that even in I had a Phoenix back when I was a kid and I named these things. I just thought they were cool. It's one of the reasons why Hijack and Haze came about. Don't ask me what the acronym is for. Hijack is, if you saw it and you watched the show, Hijack is an acronym. I'm embarrassed to say what that acronym is for. And Haze, because I've always been really, ask anybody, I've really been good at figuring out like acronyms and making them work. But those two were desperations. And it's one of the reasons why Hayes switched to Condor because I was like, no, this is stupid. And then, like I said, I mean, if you didn't know any better, I mean, I think Banshee, but I'm not entirely sure. But Javelin, Vampire, uh, uh, come on, follow me. What's the other one? Goblin? I've got all these things that are British. And I'm not particularly fond of the Brits. Not like that. So it just sort of happened. Like I didn't name for any reason, but then I just tried to reboot and go like they got to be more random. I don't want that was even after Phase. Like Phase was part of my initial like the group that came about with Windcutter and Blazer slash Osprey. And see, I changed the names too because I find like I like that one better, But like I couldn't tell you why Phase is Phase. Everybody's always asked me like, how'd you come up with that name? I'm like I don't know. It wasn't even phase one of a development of any kind. It was just it's the phase one. Matter of fact, what it was if I remember correctly, here's a little piece of history for you with my company SIL. Phase one was named because the name, like so many band names or some aircraft names, it just stuck. It really was dropped as an experiment when I built the first three. And I'm like, this is gonna be phase one. The next version is gonna be so much better. When I get to phase two and name it something, I'm gonna be cool. Like because again, like the group of planes that came out during the war, Windcutter and Blazer beat it to the punch. So it wasn't phase one of the war aircraft. No, no, no. It was just like I got something new here. That literally was it. It's like this is phase one of something. It was the starting point. The problem is I never went around to naming it anything. I'm like, man, what am I gonna call this? I kept going over it, and eventually, like a couple years went by, and I'm like, screw it, this is the phase one. And I liked it because after you do that, the variants could get little letters. So phase one A, B, C. I'm like, it rolls off the tongue. I get away with variants. I could prefix it so I could actually do something like the B phase one. That's a bomber. Oh, sweet. And still have the tech on it. And that's That's how it happened. There wasn't anything special about it. Didn't pull it out of my hat. Didn't lose a bet. Nothing. That's how it happened. So why didn't Vanguard end up being the plane to beat? Just because of that, the Vulcan worked out better, easier to build. Are you? Were you thinking? Were you thinking? Well, you wait. How long you been with us? You've been with us for a long time, but not that long in the grand scheme. It's been 10 years, right? It's been like 12 years. How long has it been? That's something else that I should probably keep track of that I haven't kept track of. It's, again, I'm thinking about that is pretty freaking stupid. Like I keep track of y'all's date the first time you built, like when you became a contractor. I ask y'all to do that so we know and everybody knows. But I also realize that I haven't kept track of everybody's entry date. Like when was IVPAC entry? And see, that's another thing about you. You like having multi role aircraft, which until you got on board was like very unusual for our members. Has it been that long? It probably has, hasn't it? It really probably has. Because it was shortly after you. I mean, I know I'm going to bring it back up again, but it was shortly after the videos because you and I had talked about, and to a lesser extent, Mark, we all talked about how you wanted like the part where you have the designations and like F's and B's and A's and so on and so forth. I remember you were talking about that and that you had some. And then you had your squadron patches, which you don't make anymore. I get it. But you had them. So um I was like, oh yeah, he's already ready. And you definitely had the designs. So um Abby, if Abby was talking about that, I Abby asked a while back, and it's like, Abby, you can get in. Anybody can get in. It's not like we're like an exclusive membership. I'd love to get everybody that flies in. It'd be so cool. Um, then I had to close all my bases and just do like you do, Matt, and like just have one base right here. I literally just have the one base. Damn, I was hoping everybody would be making like uh squadron patches and stuff like that. I have wing patches. I do. Um, I don't have them for every wing, but I do have wing patches. I don't do squadron patches. That's just too much. Avi, you can get in. Yeah, we'd love to have more impact members. Just like I said, 5, 6, at least 5 of your own designs that cover different roles in combat situations. That's all we ask. Like to start and get in. And I'd almost say like I'd like it to be your own design, but I mean, shit. If we really get a lot of people, we're probably going to see duplicates of designs. So, however, I'm not going to take anybody that just comes right out and says like I used OAE's instructable to make an aircraft and then try to get in with it. That's just not going to freaking fly. We're not going to have out and out like I don't care if you just modded it. Build your own plane and then say like, "Oh man, I got that one." Yeah, okay. Some of us have been around the block a while, and even if I had like, I mean, it's kind of got to be a gentleman's thing, unless of course you want to go to war. But it's kind of got to be a gentleman's thing where like if say you built a plane look just like this, you built this plane and yours is older than mine. But I didn't know about you, so I didn't know I was making it, and vice versa. If I'd have built something like that and you built it, but it was later than mine. I didn't know you built that. You didn't know I built this until just then. So it would either be like, yeah, go ahead. Because I would probably most likely be, yeah, go ahead. Um, Never ran across that yet, though. Be interesting to see what would happen. Because I don't think I would hold it against anybody. Why? Why? Who cares? You get in. I just don't like to think that I would, like, somebody would be out and out plagiarizing somebody's design to get in. We won't be having that mess. Now I got to look at this. I can't believe I haven't done that before. I apologize for that. Like in some cases, it's kind of easy. Some of our newer members, and okay, wait, some of our members. Let me clarify this. Some of our members basically formed and got in. NASA is a good example of this. He actually like, okay, what am I doing? And like walked him through it. And KIA is kind of the same way, except he was building some, and that's the whole thing. Just like Matt here, like, okay, how long has he been a member versus how long you been building planes? There's a lot of us. Hell, I think almost all of us, except for the two I just mentioned, all of us have been building planes before IVPAC. They were IVPAC members. Maybe not before IVPAC was around, but definitely before they were IVPAC members. So, uh, yeah, Jesus. Yeah, I gotta do this. Uh, okay. So a new column has been formed. Ah, mother. Shiza. Let's call it. Oh, God. Let's do that. I'll know what that is. Okay, I'll know what that is. You made me think about a bunch of stuff I gotta do here. But why? Why would you give up on you? Well, like I'm okay. I'm gonna ask you this, and it's kind of like a yeah, yeah. I see what you did there. I'm kind of gonna ask you this as kind of rhetorical because I'm asking myself this at the same time I'm asking you this. Why did you give up on it? How bad was this performance that like did you just said screw it? Because like I said, it kind of makes me think of my own self in Nova, bringing Nova up. Like I was happy with the first basically 22 to 26 of them. Actually, maybe a little bit more. I I built and flew around 23. I know that Michael Jordan number, like literally, but it was a little bit more than that. And then I built some and put them into Pry Fly, and then like literally almost everything that came out of Pry Fly and built into planes sucked, and it was aggravating. So, but I put it on hiatus. I didn't retire it because I'm in love with the design. I still keep it around. I'm basically retired, but I'm never really gonna get rid of it because I'm in love with the design. So I can't. Okay, yeah. See, that makes sense. But again, from oh, and I'm sorry, I kind of, as usual, I kind of backtracked out of something I was getting at though. But I asked you about your entry date because I was thinking, um, these weren't aircraft that you used to get into impact, but um, when you were talking about performance wise, I was asking like, is this combat wise? Um, because if you were in impact and you flew them and you decided like, okay, they didn't fly as good, or they took too much effort to build on, say, the battlefield, you weren't going to use them as aircraft. So that's why I was asking, like, if it was IVPAC entry based, because like I have turned down a couple of the designs that I built through time because I said like, okay, I'm not going to be wanting to build this on the battlefield. It's just not going to be worth the time, and it'll be taxing on transport command and stuff like that. So I was like, nope, nope. Any kind of naval aircraft? Nope. Because I don't want to waterproof anything just to be able to make sure it goes over water. Because let's face it, there's not a man in the cockpit flying the plane. Oh, yeah, you've been with us since the aircraft carrier days. And believe me, there's still some of us that want to see that aircraft carrier work. I mean, like I said, I got the ideas and everything, but I've always wondered too. Like mine, I I've been IVPAC so long that like keep this. I said that the wrong way. Keep this in mind. I am not IVPAC. We are IVPAC, but I consider myself. I'll say that because well, I formed it, and then I was hoping everybody else would join me, and most people have. So it's really cool. We started. We'll get into little skirmishes here and there, which we actually call our ORIs and everything like that, and fight off sorties. But we never really go to war unless, like, some people request it. We have been on skirmishes and stuff. But anyway, like I've been part of IVPAC for so long that when I design the aircraft, I just literally go to combat. Like, if I take this plane to combat, am I gonna want to build this on the front lines, or is this just too much freaking effort? Like, am I shot? Because if they are, I won't do it. I won't do it. See, and the internet, the advent of the internet, especially, and I mean, like, okay, since you remember, well, hell, since we've been doing this, let's face it this way, since we've been doing this, but especially since the advent of the internet, almost every plane, if you put up a tutorial, it's basically out there for export. Not by our definition, mind you, I understand that, but if you put the tutorial up there, people can build it. So I understand, like I said, what the difference is between like you, I, or us, and what we do and where we're gonna list it and everything. But by the same token, like how do you define unwarranted when you come to that situation? It's like, well, I put the design out there, I gave a tutorial on it. Now everybody can build it. You know, it used to be. Since I go back so long, it used to be I could keep track of the planes. I've said this before, but I could keep track of the planes that I have out. Matter of fact, I still, even now, and I know where it is, have a list of the planes that I built for everybody and then licensed out to everybody. So I know exactly how many people pre internet days had built. I know the numbers of phases that don't belong to me anymore. And let's see, there's Ospreys, phases, jet streaks, no, Javelins I never gave away. Nova I never gave away, but phases has been a great export story because everyone wants a glider, like Avi's talking about. They got bombed into oblivion, didn't they? Interesting you bring that up, Avi. Like I thought that was kind of intriguing. Talk about taking everybody by surprise. It's like one minute you're the president of the country, and the next you're on a flight to a jail cell in a different country, thousands of miles away. I literally think that probably did scare the crap out of some people, and rightfully so. Because seriously, if you're the president, if what you believe you're the president of a nation, and even if you're not the president, but if you're a drug czar, if what they're saying is true and he really is like part of a drug cartel, it's like doing the drug trade. You figure he had some pretty good protection, but we just up and yeah, we're just taking him back to New York. Like what? Just like poof like that. Yeah, I'd be a little squeamish if I was like an enemy of the state. And of course, if you're Donald Trump, basically, unless you're in the White House, you're an enemy of the state. So we all need to be worried about being kidnapped and taken to jail. Yeah, see? Yeah. I mean, because there's certain, There's certain limitations to that. I mean, a lot of times I think about in terms of impact, but there are a lot of times when I also think in terms of um I gotta draw the line somewhere. Like handing out a couple planes and then helping people with their planes for the science class airplane contest. I didn't count that. I practically built two people's planes and then helped seven other people with theirs. Mine didn't even win. Somebody was trying to build Richard Klein's plane, actually, and I was actually pleasantly surprised that anybody in that class had heard about it, which means you had to read the book, because that was in the days before the internet. So he got the book, and I was like, wow, cool. And then I proceeded to tear it down because I'm like, you're not building it the right way. Because I built seven of them up to that point. And I'm like, no, this ain't right. I'll show you how to build it. He had actually tried to build. Oh man, I can't remember now. He had tried to build a different bird. I don't even know. No, not that guy. I remember that dude. Paper plane? Yeah, it's stupid. Oh god, that hurts. I don't need it. Do you remember the name of his aircraft? I'm sorry, it's like it's flooring me. And I can't believe I don't. I should remember that. It sucks. He's been doing it a long time. He's been doing it way longer than we have. Damn it. I don't really feel like going over there to get it again. I even actually have the Omni article too. In any case, okay, the whole point was like he built like the skate version of it, which, um, say this is it, and this is a vague. I'm using an axe here. It's a vague representation of the ultimate paper plane, but like he had the body there, and the body was kind of like a W body, but he had there was a canard up here, and very loosely called a canard because it wasn't up in the front; it was up on top. That was the plane that they built in school, and I was like, that's a wicked weird try. And the fact is that like if you tweak that any way wrong, you weren't gonna get it right. So you leaving, hobby? I'm sorry, being short. Are we gone on too long? I don't think so. Although this is longer than I expected, but we're doing good. See, man, Matt, you got enough to write your own freaking tale about this. You got, like you said, like your story, developmental stories about like this stuff, how aircraft got developed, and then like, you know what I mean? Like you've come a ways. You know what I mean? Like you could write it. I'll definitely have to when we make the book. You'll definitely be included. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we do plan a book. So, physical paper book. We'd have to have one, two, three, four, five, right? Control short, control close to short, short to medium. Okay, so his was, yeah. Okay, I did a check on that crap. Because I know some things, but I know other things. Jesus. He rounded it out. So I'm just putting this together now because, like you said, you made me think about when people got in or how long people have been in. So he did not. Oh yeah, he stood up then too. Okay. Well then, fine, Jay. And oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But here we go. Uh, no. What the hell? Oh, Jesus. Typing in the wrong thing, brothers. Typing in the wrong thing. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just when I'm updating, I'm being stupid. Might have to cut this then because I'm doing that crap. Oh, see, and that is I love it. That's another touch that we have exclusive to IVPAC. We usually consider that. Um, I've done that myself. Anytime, like if it's one of you guys, if we were flying or something like that, and you left a plane or whatever, or like you left it there on purpose or you left it there on accident, I would return it to you. If I knew who built it, I would give it an effort to return it to them. But if I found an aircraft anywhere, especially if it was somebody like I thought would be um, some semblance of a rival, I kept said aircraft and tried to glean the technology from it. It was like what we did. I can't remember. We all sat through and watched me and Mark do it, but we were trying to reverse engineer his aircraft to figure out how he built it. And yeah, I'm used to doing that. Like I'd reversed one for him, so he figured out how he could make it. And that was the same thing with uh those airplanes. I used to take them apart and like, okay, what did he come up with? If there was anything to it, there wasn't that many. I took almost all of them apart, but I'm like, yep, this is simple. Yep, this is simple. Wait, we have something here. So yeah, I would capture them. I like the way you put that. Did the same thing. I'd capture and go like, yeah, okay, aircraft, okay, I like that. That's pretty cool. I always get the enemy aircraft to see if they've got any kind of technology that you're not using. Nowadays, it seems rather redundant. Everybody puts their crap out there for everybody to have, you know. So don't really find too much that's like special to anybody nowadays. But hey, what can you do? We just go ahead and give you our stuff now. You know, like for export aircraft or whatever. It's like you could borrow the technology. Here's how you pull it in here. Here's how you build it. Go ahead, run with it. Yeah, I mean it's fun. I think it's fun, so it don't matter. I got some work to do. Didn't realize I had work to do, but I got some work to do. So anywho, people, yeah, we're gonna cut this because I got some work to do. Uh, that's not entirely why, but I just I want to get now. I'm anxious because whenever I think about this stuff, I always think about uh these things. I always think about what the hell we were doing before, what the hell was going on. So I want to, like get that out and get that updated before I forget about it. So I'm gonna like we've done an hour and a half, and we've done a pretty good show so far. So I'm gonna kill this, and thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out, guys. Um, keep us up with it because I've been there. Because I'm gonna be changing some stuff. You're gonna be there witnessing it, and some people will help us out with changing this stuff. Uh, I love those planes. The Nakamura birds. After you got the lock, it was really cool. Man, that design, that shot, that was like the it thing for us for a minute there. That was like Michael DeFoss's F-14 as well. I don't know if y'all remember that. That's going way back. Or Michael LaFoss's. I'm sorry, DeFoss. I had that on the brain of something else I was looking up. One of our contractors. Michael LaFoss's Tomcat. He built one there. Like that thing was hot. That's old school. Y'all would have to go back in the days of the original uh, actual physical paper airplane quarterly called Flypaper that was out for a minute. I actually had copies of that. I think I might still have it. I don't know. But see, like I'm saying, your developmental story would be great. I'd have to dedicate a chapter of our book just to you. And it would probably be the biggest chapter in the book by far. I don't have that much development. I mean, my development tales are quick. Yours are interesting, complex, stuff like that. There's some more. There's more into it. But like I said, anyway, guys, I'm gonna cut it. I got a little bit of work to do. I'm gonna have to get to sleep anyway. So, I thank you guys for coming out. Matt, always a pleasure. I appreciate you being out here. Um, we gonna do this again. I'm gonna do a little bit of steps in the sheet that we were just talking about. I'm gonna get like the exports in there. I'm gonna get the entry in there too because I think these are columns we should be keeping track of. Um, go on there, keep building, keep flying, do what we always do. Come join us. See if we can fly together today. Today, tomorrow, the next day. When the hell ever. I would like to get together with some people and fly. So that'd be great. Not necessary, but it would be cool. Um, we'll have a couple other videos out here for and watch out for the new stuff. And tell us if you like the new stuff, because if you don't, we'll scrap it and go back to the old stuff, I guess. I don't know. I always planned on changing it up though, because I don't like it. I like keeping continuity, but I don't like to get it boring. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but again, everybody, thanks for stopping in. Avi, Robert, Matt, oh yeah, appreciate it. Matt, thanks for making the conversation interesting. I always like having somebody on board to make the conversation interesting. Either that or like having the aircraft to build something like that. Somebody make a request so I can build it. Um, this is why you need your own show, man. You could practically do the history of yours in its own show, brother. You could do your own. You have a little corner of something like that. Developmental histories of OAE from blank to blank. You could do black and white. Oh man! But again, I digress. Like I said, I got to do a little bit of work before I go to sleep. So it sucks getting up at 5 in the morning. I won't be doing that anymore next week though, so we'll be able to do this a little bit longer, hopefully. Anyway, again, guys, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Get the flying, get the building. Let us know what you think. Build those ones there. I'll see if I get this damn thing to stop glitching. And again, welcome to the new week.